There we go. Number one, it's all about security. For more, we've got Republican strategist Evan Siegfried joining us today from New York. Evan, always good to have you on the program. What do you make of what's going on here and how you think this is going to play out?
Well, now Democrats are about to come into a very strong negotiating standpoint tomorrow because they're taking the majority in the House of Representatives. They plan on passing a bill that they also hope to get through the Senate and present it to the president and get him to say no. Remember, only 20 days ago, we saw the president say he will own any government shutdown. And then he tried to say it's the Democrats' fault. Well, I'm a Republican and I have no problem attacking Democrats for things. I try and do so fairly. And the reality is that Republicans actually had a deal with the president to have a continuing resolution that would fund the government through February 8th. And then the president pulled out because the Tea Party caucus got upset that he wasn't providing a wall.
Trump wants about $5 billion, as you know, and he has sort of indicated, Evan, unless I'm wrong, a certain amount of flexibility in the sense that today he was asked by reporters, what's your number? Is it $5 billion or less? And he sort of waffled and said, well, we have to see. I mean, does the president sort of realize here that the longer this shutdown goes on, the more he will own it?
Well, I think the president realizes that different groups are going to say he owns it or whether or not they own it. I think that there are going to be his base who love the fact that he's fighting for them, because that was what we heard in 2016. We would hear that Donald Trump is immoral and he really has no experience, but the refrain from the base would be, but he fights. And they see him fighting for the wall, which is sort of their big shiny object, and they think it's great. But the rest of the country looks at this as a fool's errand. Never mind the fact that the wall is a fiscal boondoggle as well as a logistical one. If we were actually being serious about illegal immigration here in the United States, we should be talking about the fact that 2/3 of illegal immigrants in the year 2014 were visa overstays. They didn't come through the southern border. They flew in to a United States airport or came in via a port and just overstayed their visas. Further, more people overstay their visas overall since the year 2000 than have come in through the southern border. And a wall itself would be a huge disaster from a conservative standpoint due to eminent domain. The president of the United States is flailing here, and he's not going to be able to extract what his base is demanding from Democrats.
It's interesting, too, because there are some of those loud voices from his base, people like Rush Limbaugh, Ann Coulter, and others who have basically said, look, if you don't get this, if you blink, so to speak, on this, you are going to be in big, big trouble with your base. So who do you think blinks first, Evan?
Well, I think that at the end of the day, it's going to come down to a bunch of Republican and Democratic senators who will probably say, we are going to be the caucus of sensibility, and let's just get something done. In February of last year, we had a deal on the table that the president refused to support for giving $25 billion for border security in exchange for the DACA program and to protect the Dreamers. And that was a fair deal. And the reason it did not pass in the Senate was because the White House refused to support it. It only got 8 Republican votes and 54 votes overall in the Senate, just 6 shy of the 60th vote threshold it needed to continue. If the White House had backed that, they would have gotten more money than they will ever get now for a wall as well as border security, and really appealed to Hispanic and minority voters, as well as more moderate voters, who have been saying that they do want to see the Dreamers protected.
Evan Siegfried joining us from New York with his take today. Great to have you back with us. Thank you.
Thank you, and Happy New Year.
You as well.